Darn it. It hit the floor. All right, beautiful people. Top of the day. It is the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, December the 4th, 2019. Day 10. Day 10. All right, y'all. Year 2. Today, man, it seemed like we just started Genesis yesterday. We are already at Genesis 28. But don't forget, we're going all the way, 42? No, sorry. What do I think about? 50. Genesis has 50 chapters, but we'll be done with this before you know it. So today we are talking about Isaac's Isaac married Rebecca, Jacob's wives. Here we go. Nikki, hey girl, hey. So let's go ahead and get started here. Genesis 28. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and take charge. I'm trying to move so fast. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, my mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And Yahuwah Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. And give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Yahuwah gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padan Aram unto Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padan Aram to take him a wife from thence, and that he blessed him and gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padan Aram, and Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahalah, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted up upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of Yahuwah ascending and descending on it. And behold, Yahuwah stood above it and said, I am Yahuwah, God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land wherein thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all the places whither thou goest. And I will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and said, Surely Yahuwah is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid, and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of Yahuwah, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he took the stone that he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. I still don't understand how you can use a rock as your pillow, but hey, I don't know. And he called, I guess you could use it as a pillow if you took something soft and laid it over it. I get that. I can see that happening, but just a head to stone, I don't know. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If Yahuwah be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Yahuwah be my God. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Yahuwah's house. and of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give a tenth unto thee. Chapter 29. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran we are. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should go to be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, and she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him in the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. Why do they call her tender-eyed? I mean, she couldn't have been ugly, but tender-eyed? I mean, I ain't saying, you can't have one beautiful daughter and one ugly daughter if you got the same mother and father. I mean, they gotta look kind of similar. You know, you can have a beautiful daughter and a tender-eyed daughter. I mean, is everybody eyes tender at the sight of you? I don't get that. But I'm just saying, they could have been too far off from beauty within each other. I mean, if you look at families who have the same father and the same mother, and you got one beautiful child, you have multiple beautiful children. You know, so if Rachel was beautiful, Leah had to be beautiful too. But for some reason, they call her tender-eyed. I don't really know what tender-eyed means. I need to look that up in other versions. I don't think any versions say she was ugly, but they just caught me. Leah was tender-eyed. Okay. And Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me, or cockeyed. She could have been. She could have been, Alicia. I think her eyes were weak. Meaning weak like need glasses weak? Alicia said, cockeyed. Okay, I mean, I guess yeah. It could be one or the other. I was snorting. I didn't even think about that. That old cockeyed caught me off guard. Okay. And Jacob said, It's 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her in unto him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass in that morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did I not serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be done so in our country, to give the younger before our firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee also her for the service which thou shalt serve me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when Yahuwah saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, Surely Yahuwah hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Because Yahuwah hath heard I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, Now I will praise Yahuwah. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing. Chapter 30 of Genesis. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I will die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in Yah's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with these women. Oh, you can't bear children. Oh, yeah, take my maid. Make her your wife. Go ahead so we can have some children. Like, they don't think about this ahead of time. They trying to outdo the other. Then now they didn't allow their husbands. Now he having sex with multiple people. And Sarah did the same thing. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all can't wait on the promise of y'all. You getting all, well, maybe this is what he meant. No, this is not what he meant. He means exactly what he says. Now you got your husband out here breaking laws and stuff because the wives caused them to sin. Like, their wives told him to go in unto another woman and have children. And that's why we got all the shenanigans going on in the earth now. Because you got these... Let me stop. I'm going to finish reading, okay? And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, Yah hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, meaning she was no longer conceiving children, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob, Leah's wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh. And she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy sons mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? First of all, let me stop. Okay, let me just keep reading. And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. This story always kind of gets me up in arms. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. Not once has it said that Jacob complained. I mean, and why would he? Why would he?
Why would he?
But this story just pisses me off thoroughly, through and through, every time I read it. And James standing over here in the hallway laughing. And Yahuwah hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived again, and bare Jacob the 5th son. And Leah said, Yahuwah has given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband, and she shall call his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob a 6th son. And Leah said, Yahuwah hath endowed me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And Yahuwah remembered Rachel, and Yahuwah hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bare a son, and said, Yahuwah hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, Yahuwah shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Joseph said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto my own place and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by the experience of Yahuwah hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and now it is increased unto a multitude. And Yahuwah hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for my own house also? He was like, Look, you've been blessed ever since I've been here. Now my family has grown tremendously, and we need our own place. We have to go. So go ahead, bless me. Let me go, and we're gonna go and continue to grow. And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and the brown cattle from among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, shall that be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he goats that were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of hazel, and of chestnut tree, and peeled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when he had flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-striped, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs and the faces of the flock toward the ring-straight, and all the brown and the flocks of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutter, that they might conceive among the rods. Okay, love you too. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maid servants, and men servants, and camels, and asses. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think I like the back. Okay. All right, y'all. And that is our reading for today. That was chapters 28, 29, and 30 of Genesis. It is Wednesday, December the 4th, 2019, day 10, year 2. All right, y'all. I got to go because I got to do something real quick. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the reading for today. If you missed it, you can go back to the beginning, listen to it, or you can just read it yourself, or listen to it on your Audible Bible or whatever it is. Read ahead, go back if you missed readings before, just so you get the whole gist of everything that's going on. Get really familiar with the story and the characters, because we're going to need it as we move on. Because I'm going to be like, hey, okay, so you remember when? I'm going to be taking you back. I'm going to try to bring some stuff together for you, for those that don't normally think about it, just kind of read here and there. So this time through, I'm going to try and help tie stuff together as much as I can. All right, so with that being said, may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us, and lift his countenance upon us, and be gracious unto us. And may he give us his shalom, or his peace, meaning his wholeness in every area of our life. And he promises to keep those who keeps his commands. So keep his commands, y'all, so that he can keep you in all that concerns you. With that being said, you all, I love you, and I will see you in the morning.
Peace.